You know what really pisses me off?
Me?
People who say things like, I don't do deadlifts because they're dangerous and they hurt my back. Like, that annoys the fuck out of me. If 100 people said that, maybe one of them has enough of a medical condition where it's like, oh, okay, fair enough. But like for a generally pretty healthy person to not know how to deadlift properly, not have ever put in the effort to learn how to deadlift properly, not have correctly loaded and started at a weight that they can handle without injury, and then just write it off as deadlifts hurt my back and they're dangerous, and then tell 20 of their friends that deadlifts are dangerous. You know what I mean? Like, not just deadlifts, but any movement.
Yeah.
It pisses me off because a lot of these movements are tried and tested properly. A deadlift is, okay, again, everything we do is dangerous, but deadlifts are not going to hurt your back. Deadlifting wrong is going to hurt your back, or a freak accident maybe.
So, yes, I agree with you in that way. Like, deadlifting wrong will hurt you, or people who, for an example, do what I do, where I'm deadlifting to a level of fatigue that is not healthy.
Yeah.
And that is one, like, I'm not to shit on my own community, but that is one thing about CrossFit I think sometimes is a negative, is people see the words for time or AMRAP and go, they throw technique out of the window.
Yeah.
Yes, I do think it should be as fast as you can do it, or as many reps as you can do.
Yeah.
But it's the same idea as what we used to have with when we were doing sets, where you always leave 2 in the tank.
Yeah.
Unless you're trying to compete, and then, let's fucking truly max out because it's about winning. If it's not about winning, you can still get fitter and stronger and be fucking annihilated, but you don't do it on movements like a heavy deadlift or a heavy press or a heavy squat. Like, write yourself off on an assault bike where there's such
smarter ways to do it.
Risk for injury that it doesn't matter.
And this is another example, another one I hear. I do defend CrossFit, even though I'm not a full blown fucking competitor, or like I don't get offended if you don't like CrossFit, because whatever. But I think CrossFit's one of those things that does get a really bad rap, and lots of people who have either never tried it or never done it properly or never had good coaching go, oh, nah, CrossFit sucks. You'll get injured. CrossFit's too dangerous.
You will if you do it wrong.
You will if
100%.
you do it wrong. And yes, it's true. There is a higher level of risk doing CrossFit.
Absolutely.
But I still think, while a large portion of the onus is on the coach to teach people correctly and stuff, I still think as a human being, we should have enough brain power to have put some onus on yourself too. Like, if you know that your body's feeling a certain way and things start to hurt a bit, like you say, there's a difference between a competitor and someone who just trains for fun. Sometimes people get injured and I'm like, why didn't you stop? Like, why didn't you stop? Because the way they explain their injury happened, I felt this happen, then this sharp pain, then this start, and then this happened, and then I just wanted to get some more reps. And I'm like, come on.
No point.
Come on. You really should know better as a person. That's silly.
Yeah.
You know, the defense to that, or the problem is, there's a big culture where it's like, go, one more. And if you're new and you've got these people who know what they're doing around you yelling, do another one, it can be intimidating and it can be hard because you think they know better. Maybe I'm being a pussy. Maybe I just need to do another one, you know, but there's a mix of things that need to go right or need to go wrong to get injured. But I'd like to see a little bit more onus on the person as well as the coach and the programming, but on the person to go, hang on, this is not right. Something's wrong.
It's funny where, like, especially when it's people who come from another gym, but let's say they'll be in a workout that's for time and it'll have some sort of lifting component, and they'll lift really funky, and then they'll go again, and I'll go, rest more. Yeah. I can do it. I'm like, I don't care. Rest. Just wait 10 seconds and then go again. Yeah. Because 10 seconds out of your workout isn't going to matter. If you now catch this clean shit and buckle your wrist, that's 2 weeks of your training gone. That'll matter a lot more. But you do see that in other gyms where they sort of like champion this feeling of again and again and more and more and more, and like, but then again, I do that to myself. I do that to other people who want to compete at semi-finals and stuff.
But there's a difference because you know what is safe movement. You're experienced enough, and this is where everybody should get to this stage. You're experienced enough to know when you can push,
Yes,
and what you can, because go, and as much as you can do and as many reps as possible. What it really should say in small print, which is not sexy, is without hurting yourself, without pushing yourself too far beyond failure that
without
it's dangerous.
A true max.
You know what I mean? It's never,
and it's also a factor of I know what I'm going to do afterwards to fix it.
Yeah.
So like for an example, we did a workout and we were doing hang power cleans, and I did them to the point that the bar flew out of my hands because my grip went.
Right.
That's not something I would ever recommend for a normal person to do, because you're so fatigued. Or I was doing a workout that was 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of thrusters with a 60 kilo and ring muscle ups.
Yeah.
And I pushed the pace on that to the point that I fell through the rings going for a transition on a ring muscle up.
Right.
Again, that's not something I would ever in a million years expect a general pop person, even if you can do ring muscle ups, to do that to yourself, because the risk of tearing your shoulder to pieces is so high.
Yeah.
But for me, one, I know I've built a massive resilience to that sort of impact on my shoulders, not only through training, but through the mobility that I do as well. But I also know as soon as I finish that workout, what I'm going to be doing to recover from that. Like, I am going to stretch. I am going to do the corrective exercises. I am going to make sure I sleep properly. So I know I'm going to bounce back from that.
But you're also in a position where you need to push boundaries almost every day, because you're trying to achieve, there's other people that are going up against you and might be doing a bit more and might be doing it. So you need to push boundaries. And with that, with a win, with that comes risk, more risk than what most people need to take.
Absolutely.
So it's controlled risk, and it's more controlled risk than what most people need to take. One thing that does get me about beginners competitions, I'm all for it, it's great, but when it does get me a bit is when you see beginners and people who haven't got much experience with any training doing competition and getting pushed on by coaches and spectators, and their technique is horrible and it's dangerous, right?
Yeah.
There's also a difference between not being pretty with your technique and being dangerous with your technique. And you see, you know, I've seen it happens a lot with like barbell cleans or snatches. Yeah. Even with beginners doing light cleans, like and the wrist is bent in a weird way and your elbows are down, so you just got so much pressure on your front shoulders, on your front delts. It's like, and you're getting yelled at again. That I'm like, come on, man, somebody help this person, because they don't know any better, you know?
This is going to be a very unpopular opinion, but I actually don't think beginner should be a category in a CrossFit competition.
Yeah,
and I've said that a few times to people where, and people get annoyed because they go, oh, they deserve an opportunity. Why? Why do they deserve an opportunity to compete if they cannot complete a movement correctly?
Or then could you say maybe the programming in a beginner's competition should be much smarter, because you're not then expecting these people to do anything that's technically difficult, but you're still giving them the chance to be in that competitive environment and get a bit of a rush and possibly motivate them to actually learn and go to the next level.
The reason I don't like that is because most of the people I meet who do a beginner comp have done it for a couple of months.
As in they've only
done
for
CrossFit for a couple of months.
So then couldn't you give them moves that are really basic and simple, or you think...
I would just give them a completely separate competition.
Right.
Because I think that the issue becomes... Or Chasing Better actually did a good job of this. They had completely separate workouts for every category. That, I think, is a better idea.
Yeah. So you're saying rather than copying what the top guys do and scaling down...
Yeah, give them something completely different.
Yeah, I agree. I just think if you're going to do beginners... you're right. They should be very basic.
The sort of movements that I think would be safe for beginners to max out on, I don't think anyone would do a competition with those movements because they're not sexy movements and they're not fun.
And stuff. Yeah. I don't like to see brand new people throwing barbells around for high reps.
And I see beginners who don't even air squat correctly.
Yeah.
Body weight squat correctly.
Yeah.
The idea that you would just go straight into doing movements like Olympic lifting and pull-ups and stuff like that. Most of like people doing beginner comps doing kipping pull-ups and swinging around on the rig, a lot of them can't even do 10 strict pull-ups properly.
Yeah, and that's the type of stuff that
swinging
gives
around on your joints
the whole sport a bad rap, I believe.
Yeah.
And it comes down to either poor programming, poor coaching. For me personally, I would not let somebody represent my banner, my brand, my gym if they weren't going to be able, and themselves, if they weren't going to be able to do it safely.
Yeah.
You're only going to hurt yourself. You're going to hurt. I see people doing things horribly, and I see the shirt they wear and it's got a certain gym on it, and I'm like, I lose respect for that gym, because I'm like, oh, do you let your members do that? Like, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. It's all good saying let them have fun and have a go, but you're going to hurt somebody and you're going to give the whole sport a bad rap.
I mean, we used to get the same thing even with boxing. You'd get people that would go in and get the shit kicked out of them. Oh, it's just experience. No,
and then
not.
let them fight, and they don't even know how to throw a punch properly.
And the coaches in the corner going, oh, it was a really good experience. Absolutely, it's not. You just got punched in the head for 9 minutes.
Yeah, you can do that in sparring. Like, if you're unsafe, you shouldn't be competing in any sport. If you're unsafe, you probably shouldn't be competing. Just spend a little bit more time. Spend another 6 months, spend another 3, whatever it might be, and get good.